We are recording. Mike Schein, how are you, my friend?
Well, great. How are you?
Good, good. It's like you said, deja vu. This is the second time we've done this one.
That's right. But we're doing it in the morning, so here's a cup of coffee.
That's right, brother. Cheers to you.
Cheers.
So, Mike, we've known each other for a while now. Met you at a networking event and didn't know you were an attorney, then found out you were an attorney. Didn't know you were an investor, then found out you were an investor. And then after, months and months of knowing you, I didn't realize that you were as knowledgeable as stocks. So, and then I didn't realize you had 5 kids. So there's like a lot of just layers to you that just you reveal over time.
Right, I'm an onion.
That's it. And then you got all those awards behind you there.
Yeah. That's my Boston University diploma.
That's right. I see it up there. I got my train the trainer thing there. Rich Dad Poor Dad. There it is. That's
awesome. Nice job.
So how did you go from being an attorney to getting into real estate? What was the first deal? Like where did it come from? Like what made you say, this is nice, but real estate's interesting to me?
Yeah. So my family's been doing real estate my father's been doing real estate for a long time. And my wife and I read a book a long time ago, and we decided to go buy a 2-family in Pawtucket at that time. But I didn't have the knowledge I have now, so we just kind of bought it. We paid the contractor to fix it up. It's something that I wish I had hung on to, but it wasn't the right time, I guess. So we bought it, fixed it up, sold it. Everybody made money except for me. So but that was like at least 15 years ago. But the lender made money, the realtors made money, the contractor made money, and I guess it's kind of a blessing because I walked away with $3,000, so I didn't lose money on my first deal.
So your first flip was $3,000.
But it wasn't intended to be a flip either. So that's part of the thing. If you're going in to do a buy and hold and then you flip it, that's probably a bad idea.
So that doesn't always work out for you, right? So
yeah.
So why did you end up selling? How long did you hold it? Why did you end up selling? And why did you decide to buy a rental property in the first place?
So I read a book called The Automatic Millionaire Homeowner, which I think I'm going to read again. Maybe we'll put it on our group of all our books we're reading. And it made it sound so easy to just buy and hold. But this was a long, like 15 years ago, and I really didn't understand the market at the time and what I was doing. If I put that on a 15-year mortgage, it'd be paid off by now.
It'd be done.
It'd be done, right? I could give it to one of my kids. But no, it's okay. It was an education. Like I think I mentioned to you, there was lots of cockroaches in the upstairs one, so we had a guy, Mario Fonseca, come in and blast this one and killed everything in a city block. We got it all fixed up. I learned a lot. We bought like tiles from Home Depot, set up the upstairs apartment. It was really nice, but I think I panic sold. I was afraid of where the market would go. I didn't understand that on buy and hold you can weather these type of situations, and so from everything's education, so you learn.
So yeah, you basically bought it to hold it.
Yeah.
You read the book Automatic Millionaire for Homeowners, and after closing, what happened? Was it just like, you know what, market's gonna crash, I'm out? What was this? 2004, 2005?
Yeah, I can't remember. It might have been closer to 2007, but
you would have the right idea.
Yeah, but well, first of all, there was a Section 8 tenant on the first floor, which I don't have a problem with Section 8, but she had like a boyfriend who was always there parking the car on the lawn, and there are like rules about and I didn't know the rules that well. And then on the second floor, it was just like I said, it had cockroaches, and I did a lot of work on it. So we spent like 4 months, doing the demo and then fixing it up, and it made it look really nice. But I think I just was afraid that I wouldn't be able to afford it, and so I sold it. So that was the end of that.
And so you did all the work yourself. This is good. Yesterday's interview, I'm pulling more information out of you. So, so for everybody who's wondering what we're talking about, deja vu, and this is the second time we've recorded this. So I didn't hit the save button and had to start over. So I called Mike and I was like, Mike, we got to do this again.
I said,
But it's good. We're getting more details.
I get to talk about myself for another hour. Okay.
Yep.
Like
So
I said, I'm a high eye.
But it was cash flowing or wasn't cash flowing? You were just concerned.
Yeah, I think it was cash flowing. It's so long ago. I can't really remember. But again, I didn't understand any of the stuff. Like even when I was talking to the realtor about you know, buying it and would it cash flow, I didn't even think that way back then. So
right.
So my real beginning came from about 1.5 or 2 years ago. Brenda and I started reading The Miracle Morning, and The Miracle Morning has you get up an hour early and start doing, amongst other things, highly recommend that book, but amongst other things, they recommend 20 minutes of reading every morning. And so I read a book, everybody knows, Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Yep.
And that was the real start. Such a good book. It just changed my mindset completely. Going from, you know, collecting a paycheck and being a partner in the firm to figure out ways to make massive income from passive income. So that's my mantra.
Massive income from passive income.
That's right. So well, actually what happened was Brenda's mom had moved up from Georgia because her sisters were all working, and Georgia's such a big state that they couldn't get over to see her all the time. And so Brenda, you know, we have 5 kids, so Brenda's working at home and she has a real estate license, but it's mostly out of the house. And she said, this is ridiculous. I want to spend time with my mom. Let's move her back up here. So
yep.
She moved in with us, and that, I mean, it was fine. Everybody was okay, but it wasn't the best situation, you know.
So you moved your mother-in-law into your house with your 5 kids and your wife. Yeah. And it seemed like a good idea at the time.
So, but we said we needed some more room, and we talked about building like an extra garage with an apartment. And because she was older, we thought maybe we'd make the garage downstairs her apartment as opposed to the upstairs, because she wouldn't have to climb the stairs. And then, you know, after she stopped using that, we would, you know, retrofit it like a garage, and then we would turn it back into a garage. But that was pretty pricey when we started getting prices for that type of thing. So then Brenda said it was like God or the universe. She was looking on MLS, and this little cottage came up 2.5 miles from us, a 1-bedroom cottage in Saunderstown with beach rights. And it was like perfect little adorable cottage. And so we bought it, and that was like the first real purchase. We moved Nana in there. It actually became known as Nana's Shack. And she loved it, you know, and so we did that. And the plan was she was going to, you know, live for the next 20 years. And then when she passed away, we would do something like an Airbnb. But unfortunately, she got sick and she passed away a year later.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So that was, but it was nice that Brenda got to spend that time with her.
Absolutely. So did Nana pay for rent in Nana's Shack, or was that rent free? And
she was paying a discounted rent to us.
I have the family discount.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, so, and her mom's a very proud woman. She wouldn't have, she would have never lived for free. That just wasn't who she was. So, but anyway, so so after she passed away and a couple of months went by, we decided to turn it into an Airbnb. And Brenda was amazing at it. She ended up getting 50 5-star reviews, became a super host. But it was a real job. You know, we were charging in the winter like $65 a night. So that means you couldn't pay a cleaning service. So Brenda was over there like every 2 days, just, you know, cleaning all the linens, changing everything out, taking all the food out of the refrigerator. And so I could say something about Airbnb. Airbnb can be a great model, but it is a business. So
Yeah.
it's a job, rather.
The job.
It's not massive income from passive income. And so after a year of doing that, and again, Brenda was very successful at it, we decided to change it over to just a rental unit, and we found a great tenant. She's a very sweet woman. Actually, just kind of like the universe, her name is the same name as Nana's best friend. So,
Oh, no way.
yes, and it was like, this is meant to be.
Yep. So you're good. You get the discounted rent too.
And she you know, I said yesterday, it's kind of like a commercial deal because it's almost triple net. This woman pays a little bit lower rent than it would have come out total with all the Airbnb stays per month, but at the same time, she's paying her own oil, she's paying her own electric. Yeah, so it really worked out well, and it's the passive income. I don't think about that cottage too often. You know, we're not over there. We're not doing a lot of maintenance. It's just cash flow. So yeah.
So one of the things that people talk about Airbnb all the time is they say, oh, you can make 3 times as much rent, and you know, it's automated. The system does everything. But you're saying from personal experience that Airbnb is a lot more work. It's way more hands-on, way more systems involved, and as opposed to a traditional, just, you know, once a month rental. This person's in there, locked in lease or tenant at will, and then the other side of it is you weren't really getting a massive amount of rent. You weren't getting far more than you expected.
Exactly. So for when Brenda was doing it as a super host, she was, you know, she would get them a $10 gift card for coffee. She was getting, you know, apples, bananas, creamers. Like I said, you pay the oil, you pay the electric. So in the end, this worked out just a lot better.
Right.
I do have a friend who has I think it's a 7-bedroom in Narragansett, like right near the beach.
Right.
And he's crushing it because he's got families that are paying $10,000 a week.
Right.
Him. And so he's doing just the summertime. He doesn't rent to URI students or anything like that, but he charges 10 grand a week, and he gets these big families that, you know, they want to go stay a week in Narragansett. And so I could see how it can work. He also has systems. He has cleaning people and that kind of stuff.
At $10,000 a week, the systems are more affordable.
It was funny when I would talk to him about his Airbnb versus ours, because we're making $65 a night.
Your week looks like what, $300? His is $10,000. It's little differences.
Having said that, he spent a lot of money on that property, but it's something that's good for the long term. But yeah,
Right.
But it's a job, and it was a job that we didn't want to do. Our Brenda and our focus is getting. They don't necessarily have to be just residential, but just small multifamilies around here. So.
Right. And where is that? It's North Smithfield and East Greenwich?
North Kingstown.
North Kingstown. I nailed it yesterday.
Right. That's awesome.
North Kingstown and East Greenwich.
Yeah, right. And so we have 3 in North Kingstown, 1 in East Greenwich, and
How many units total?
16.
16.
One in Newport. That's a 6 unit that I have with a partner. So yeah.
Nice.
Yep. Cool.
So you have 16 units. You built that over less than 2 years?
Yeah, a year and a half.
A year
What
and a half.
happened was we were doing the Miracle Morning. I read Rich Dad Poor Dad and immediately saw that you know, you can use your home equity line of credit and picking up properties and then getting them, like the BRRRR strategy, and then getting them into their own mortgages. This was pretty amazing. Shout out to Bristol County Savings.
Yep.
I got a 3-unit, non-owner occupied, 25 years at 3.375.
3.375.
On a 25-year.
I have not seen a note that low in a long time. So
yeah, could have done 15 years at 3%, but That would have just been for bragging at cocktail parties. And
Right.
there's no more cocktail parties. So
No, exactly. With COVID-19, we're all we're on home on Zoom. Who needs bragging rights now?
But yeah, we just thought 25 years was a better time period, and yeah, so
The cash flow is better. The cash flow is better at 25 years.
We're not in any rush to pay it off. Who cares, you know?
Right. And that's one of the things I noticed about you, though, is you do like those shorter terms. Yeah, you do talk about 20 years. You talk about 15 years in all of our conversations. When you think of a mortgage, you don't really. I very rarely hear you mention a 30-year mortgage.
Yeah.
And what causes that? And I totally get it, but I want to hear your side of it.
Yeah, so I don't know. There's two different philosophies, and one of them a friend of mine has. He just wants to buy cash flowing multis and put them on a 15-year mortgage, and then he knows that in 15 years, when he's retired, that they'll be paid except for taxes and insurance, and he'll just be collecting more. So that's one school of thought. And then Brenda is more of the, extend it out, get the cash flow now, and use it to go buy other properties. They both work. I feel like you just have to pick a strategy and go with it.
Right.
So the one that I was mentioning was 25 years. He didn't have a 30-year, so that was
right.
I would have gone a 30-year on that one. But again, you can go either way. It's just your individual philosophy. Because that friend of mine, he bought a property in 2003, with a partner, and it's completely paid off now. Nice. And he and his partner are talking about pulling out. This is in Newport, Middletown area, but they're pulling out like $150,000 each.
Yep.
Go buy more properties, and I just
equity. Yep.
Yeah, it's just awesome. So.
Yeah, I mean that's what me and Ron talk about it now. Instead of going and taking income, it's just do a refinance, take some of that. Like instead of selling one of our properties, losing the cash flow and the long-term appreciation, it's just refinance it a little bit, take that little bit of cash, and it pays itself anyway. Exactly. As long as we're always buying more property, it's no big deal.
Yeah, that's cool. And so I was saying that we don't just do residential stuff. So where I'm sitting is my office, and that's a 2-unit, and it has my law office on the first floor and a hair salon on the second floor, and so it's a cash flowing rental property as well. And I think I was saying yesterday, the real gift that Brenda has is she, among other things, but she's
yeah, we're talking about that a lot. Yep.
Well, she's just really good at picking properties in good locations, and we joke around about what are the 3 most important things in real estate: location, location, location.
Yep.
But she's always looked at stuff, and when I find stuff that's kind of not in such a good location, she'll be like, "Yeah, I don't know about that." But the ones that she's bought that she said we should go out and get, have all been in good locations, and so that's an awesome.
So speaking of Brenda, there's something you mentioned yesterday is that you guys have it's a phenomenal relationship. You say, thank God, like you had the conversations, let's go invest, and thank God she was on board with you.
Right.
And then the other side of this, she's raising 5 kids with you. And like yesterday, it just kept coming up like, oh yeah, Brenda did this, Brenda did that, Brenda did this. And it's like, wow.
I just sit and look pretty.
Yeah, it's almost like she's making a lot of the decisions. She's going and doing a lot of the legwork, and she's a phenomenal partner for you. Yeah. And it's just, she's very supportive and really involved in the business.
Yeah, absolutely. So she worked at an advertising company as the admin there. And they had her doing bookkeeping and working with the accountant and doing accounting, and she loves working with numbers. So whenever we have a deal, I would always have her look at it, and she did the numbers. I'm more of we talked about this yesterday, but the disc profile, I'm more of a high I. Yep. I like to go out and meet people and be social and have fun. And not that Brenda doesn't like to go meet people and have fun, but she's really good with like the C stuff. She understands the numbers. She likes doing the numbers, and so it's a good team.
Right.
Way to go. And like I said yesterday, it's just a blessing that I've heard of other couples that they don't see eye to eye on real estate investing. She read Rich Dad Poor Dad, and she was like, yeah, I already knew this.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, well, thanks for waiting for me to catch up.
Your mind's blown, and she's like, that makes sense.
Yeah. So so we work as a team, and you know, I think it works out really well that way. It's cool.
Right.
And you know, with the kids, like two of the kids are older, and they're Sam and Hannah are out of the house, so we're dealing with three now. And but yeah, she's an amazing mom and wife and all that good stuff. She's a keeper and a life partner. Yeah. So
Yeah, and that's
very blessed.
it's one of the elements that I just love about you guys, right? Your kids are all very well behaved. They've come to our events before. They've come. No, they well when I see them. I mean, like your daughters, they definitely are into what they believe in, right? They promote. They're both very strong vegans, and
Yeah.
everything on their Instagram is like very clear. You know where they stand.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, in fact, I was out in California and I met some cows and I had to take some
Yeah.
pictures and I was like, look, I get it now.
Samantha told me that. Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
So, and you've brought them to the events, like you're supporting them, you're training them like on the right stuff for their mind, like early on. You know, why do you emphasize, like, how did you get such a great relationship with your wife and get her on board? And then how did you, like, your relationship with your kids is just so solid. Like, they respect you, they like you, they go to the investor meetups with you. Like, how does somebody create that for themselves?
Well, I think that you know, obviously it's not perfect, you know, you know, but I think that what happens is I am just when I get enthusiastic about something, it really comes off that way, like, you know, influence or high eye.
Right.
And I'm around the house. Brenda and I are reading the books, and you know, Rich Dad Poor Dad, Cash Flow Quadrant, and when Hannah's boyfriend Romero came over, we're throwing books at him. Read this book, read this, and now he's buying his first three family. Um, but I think that it just kind of it all makes sense. So it's not, you know, they say real estate is simple. It's not easy.
Right.
You know? So everybody seems to, when we get enthusiastic about it, say, hey, this is another path that if you want to, I don't know, if you want to be a massage therapist or if you want to go work in a law firm, you can do that. But at the same time, all this real estate, you can have it as passive income on the side. And then if you want to go away for a month and go to Paris or go, you know, go somewhere else, you've got that freedom. So I think they see the freedom, and they, yeah, I mean, sometimes we drag them to meetings. It's okay.
It's funny because now I see Ramiro, I think it's Sam's boyfriend, showing
Yeah.
Hannah's boyfriend,
Yeah.
showing up to meetings even without you. I was like, "Where's Mike?" And he's like, "Yeah, he's in Florida." Him and Brenda are in Florida this week.
Yeah. No, he's got a great opportunity. I think he's 24 now. So
Yep.
we had him read a book, Scott Trench, called Set for Life.
Yep.
And Rich Dad Poor Dad. And, you know, by the time he's 30, he'll be, you know, he'll have enough income to, you know, he has a great job too. So it's just you know, if he doesn't want to work, he doesn't have to. But that's the whole plan. That's kind of like with your 100 millionaires. You know, if you can get all these people to, you know, invest in real estate, and then if they want to keep doing their job, go keep doing your job. But it seems, yeah, I'm on board. I just think it's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, we're making millionaires, man. So. Yeah. For anybody who doesn't know, I set a goal at the beginning of the year. I said I'm going to make, in the next 5 years, by 2025, 100 people will become millionaires, and it will be because of the efforts that we're putting out in the Alchemist community. And Mike, fortunately, is one of our members. He's already a millionaire, and so he's treating this as a chance to give back. So he's coaching people and training people, and you've been tremendous in the group. So Mike's been doing our weekly book a week, right? The 52 books a year, a book a week. He's been presenting that every Saturday. And we talked about it yesterday. What is the book that's coming up for this week? Because this will go out today. I'm going to post this today.
Oh, yeah. So the book of the week is Atomic Habits.
Yep.
And if you give me 1 second, I can get the name of the author. But yeah, Atomic Habits. When you hear the word atomic, you think like an atomic bomb.
Right.
But it's actually atomic, meaning like small, like the atom. And that book is by James Clear, which is
James Clear.
And
so, I'm gonna get downloading that book now, so I can have it before tomorrow, for Saturday.
It's really about doing small habits, and I was reading it last night, and it was just about the habits. If you think of them differently about who you want to become, as opposed to just I'm going to the gym or whatever. That's really the mind shift.
Which one?
I can't even see it. Hang on a second. The first one.
The first one? Got it.
Yep. And yeah, it's a great book. Yeah, so just that's the book of the week, and I'm getting through it. It's a thick book, so I'm actually reading that one.
You're reading it right now?
Well, I'm like actually reading, not doing the Audible, so I'm
Right.
yeah. So I got to get to it, but I read a bunch of it last night. It's just got some good thoughts about how small habits, and you know, with this virus, I've got a treadmill downstairs and I've got a weight bench downstairs, like like with a stack of weights, and it's kind of the perfect time because I go home and I do some running on the treadmill and then do some lifting, so I'll be ready for June at the beach.
That's right. So you do lifting and learning. It's like
Right.
you got school on wheels or you got lifting and learning.
Yeah, right, exactly. But I also been while I've been on the treadmill, I've been listening to like a lot of YouTube podcasts, like talking about Tesla and things like that. It's awesome.
I know, Mike, I love your texts. So I'll wake up. So Mike wakes up way before me. So in the miracle morning, way before I am, I wake up around like 9 o'clock.
I'm gonna get back to it. So.
And then I'm like, oh, I'll wake up and there's already like a YouTube video sitting there. People doing research.
But you're pretty amazing because whenever I send you something, you're like, oh yeah, that was amazing. I listened to it. I'm like, wow, that's really fast. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you send it in, and I'm still sitting in my home office, in bed, and I'm watching these videos. So I read the quick article, and it's whatever you send is usually quality. You've already filtered through all of the research in the morning, so by the time it comes to me, I know.
But yeah, I definitely don't take opinion. I usually like to see if they've got some facts behind what they're talking about. So yeah, it's cool.
Right. And and the gentleman you sent the other day, I can't remember his name now, but he was saying that Warren Buffett was saying invest in one or two stocks that you really believe in early on. That was something that he did. And one of the wealth principles was invest. No, what was it? Put all your eggs in one basket and guard that basket.
Which was exactly what you were saying. It was, that was your wealth principle. What was it, 8 or something like that?
It was 6 or 7, or actually it was pretty early on. It was like 4, but the wealth principles.
Put it all in one basket and hang on, I'm just looking for this guy's name. Oh, Chicken Genius Singapore.
Singapore, yep.
You want to know about Tesla and what someone who's been studying it for a long time? He's on YouTube and he's pretty impressive with his facts. But
he's factual about it. Like during this downtime, now Tesla's one of those that's not a fundamentally we joke about Tesla and Amazon having not made profits, right? They don't show profits. They don't show like fundamentally it's like, dude, this company's in trouble. But because they're able to keep perception so strong and they do deliver a really good product, they're able to, and their investors believe in them, they're able to keep raising capital and keep putting out a good product.
Yeah.
And during the downturn, right, this last crash, this is we're still in it, right? March 25th. Yeah. During this bear market, Tesla dropped and then Tesla came right back. Because
that was, man, we're talking about so Brenda and I are big believers in like God, the universe, whatever you want to call it, source. And she said to me, she's like, I don't know what gave me the urge, but Tesla was down at like 3 something, and I wanted to call you and tell you to buy it. And she didn't call me, but it was just a lesson on when you have a message coming to you to definitely take up. This is not.
We're not giving stock advice.
It's what we're doing, but you do your own research and.
Yeah. I mean, I look at Tesla the same way I look at cryptocurrency. I'm like, you know what? It goes up, it goes down. Like, it's not my industry. I don't understand it. Doesn't pay dividends. So I'm like, I'm not interested. But, but there is, and same with Bitcoin. When Bitcoin went down to 5,000, I told all my buddies who I know are like big Bitcoin guys. I was like, hey, now's the time to buy. And they're like, oh, I'm just waiting for it to come back. And it's like, dude, like, just get it. Like, you bought it at 8, buy again at 5. You thought it was good at 8, it must be great at 5.
Exactly. Actually, with Tesla specifically, I was looking at it at 725 before the virus,
Right.
Um, and so yesterday I bought some at like 500. So
Right.
it's still pricey. If you look back at some of the videos that this guy has, he was like, it was at 201, but at the same time, I'm just putting it in my, I just think that, I'm not happy about the virus because of all the people who are getting sick and
Right.
dying, but at the same time, these are opportunities in the market because
Yeah.
people are panic selling and there's no reason for that. So.
We're not. So when we talk about capitalizing on a bad opportunity, we're not capitalizing on COVID-19 or a virus. We're capitalizing on a drop in the stock market. It's just fundamentally disconnected. When the stock's worth this and it's trading for this, it's completely unrelated to COVID-19. It's 100%. This is the opportunity to buy, and you're making financial decisions based on a financial market, not whether it's a good or bad time for people.
Right.
Right. In fact, you're balancing out the market by putting money in companies you believe in, giving them more liquidity.
Exactly. So just to, I want to tell a funny story because I wanted to get back to the real estate stuff, but so I was looking at a building for like the last year. This is a universe again. I drove by this building in East Greenwich for like a year and I had a for sale sign. I said, wow, I like that location. I like that building. But Brenda says I say that about a lot of buildings and then I don't pull the trigger, not in a bad way, but she's right. I'm like,
Yep.
oh, should have bought it. And then a year later, you see someone's done an amazing development. You're like, man, I should have pulled the trigger. But anyway, so I saw this building and then I had this mortgage guy who switched. He was in East Greenwich. He switched to a company that took him out of East Greenwich.
Yep.
Comes to me one day and he says, hey, you like buying buildings. If you bought this building, we would rent it from you. So he shows me the building. It was the building that I'd driven by for like a year. And I was like, no way. I said, yeah, I'll do that. So I immediately made an offer, got it accepted and put in a purchase and sales agreement. And then the next day he's like, hey, that building's too small for us. We're going to go somewhere else.
No way. So you bought a building based on a tenant.
Yeah.
You line up the tenant, because that's the hardest part in commercial, right? You line up the tenant and you're ready to go and the tenant backs out, but you still have this thing under agreement.
Yeah. But it was a total blessing because he was talking about like 10 mortgage guys. So they each have a car and the parking would have been a mess, not even just tight, just a mess. So he backed out, but I was like, you know what? I'm still gonna buy it because I told you I've been driving by it for like a year. We ended up buying it, and I was a friend of mine mentioned that she had a friend who I knew, and she said, "Oh, she's looking for a place in East Greenwich." And within a week, she was, "Yeah, I'm in." We fixed up the place. It was like a burr. So it has a law office in the back, not mine, but this other woman's law office. Then we have in the front, we're keeping it for Brenda to run, but also have a place for closings for Blake Cunningham.
Yep.
Because in Rhode Island, people don't like to go anywhere. Like even though East Greenwich and North Kingstown are 15 minutes away, they would rather go.
We're gonna close in town.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
So we're keeping the front one, and then upstairs we have residential apartments. So it's perfect. So that was
a nice mix of commercial and residential. Mike, we got about 2 minutes left. I want to get your 3 tips. Yesterday, you gave some solid, just 3 tips for people who, if you didn't have the ability to raise your kids and spend all the time with them, or if you could go back and give yourself this advice early on in the business, what 3 tips would you give the young Mike Schein who's looking to get in and become a millionaire? What 3 tips would you give yourself?
Okay, so the first tip would be to start a Roth, self-directed Roth IRA when you're 20 and fund that sucker every single week, which is what I'm telling Sam and Hannah to do. And they set up not self-directed, but they have Roth IRAs. I will say, based on in relation to that advice, talk to a financial planner if you're doing that, because I think that if you're younger, there are reasons to do a regular IRA as opposed to a Roth IRA. And so those are subtleties that I don't understand. but I know that when you get a little older, my age, the Roth IRA is the way to go. So talk to someone about it when you set it up. But if you fund that type of stuff early, that just sets you up for retirement. And if you do it when you're 20, you only have to put like $43 a month in to get to like $1 million when you're 65, and maybe $1 million when you're 65 isn't a lot, but it'd be better to have $1 million than not have $1 million at 65. So self-directed Roth IRA for me has just been amazing. I've been doing a small amount of private lending in it, and it's just the coolest vehicle because tax-free, you know, and yeah, so that's number one.
I borrow some of your money, so I appreciate you. I'm glad you do it. Equity Trust, Mike Schein. Appreciate it.
Let's see. Anyway, yeah, so that's really cool. Like that's second thing is that real estate is not get rich quick.
Right.
It's not like one of these guys at 3 a.m, one of those infomercials. They is get rich. I don't know. They say slowly. I wouldn't really say it's slow, but it's maybe the rich part is slow. But you know, it's like a snowball. It picks up pretty quickly, and you know, you'll go from 0 properties to 1 to 5 before you know, in a blink of an eye, because you once you figure out how to get the money and get the deal.
Right.
Get
the money, get the deal. I love those.
Yeah, get the deal. Get the deal. Go to the Alchemist and watch Walter tell you how to get the deal.
That's it.
Geez, I've never used this phrase before, but your network is your net worth.
Yep.
That would be another one. I mean, I've heard people say it. I didn't make that up, but I really feel that like one of the things that happened to me is because I've been networking. I go to the RIA meetings. That's where I met you, Walter.
That's right.
Go to Fall River and meet a lot of quality people there in all different stages. And that's why I love it. Some are newbies and some are like the guy you just had on, Matt.
Yeah.
1,000 units. I'm like, really? I got to follow that? You couldn't follow somebody with like a 1 3-bedroom that they're house hacking? But yeah.
Right before this, we had Matt from, he's actually from New York, but from Boston, right? And 2,000 units.
Yeah. Love to meet him sometime. That would be awesome.
Yeah, come up with me to the event in Newton. He's phenomenal and super friendly. But yeah, networking, like you're kind of the king of it. You're always at any event there is. You run you're not running, but you're always at the Rhode Island one. You stay late. You network with everybody.
Learn that from you.
Yeah.
Stay late. That's my competition. Can I beat Walter and stay late?
That's it. Can you stay later than me? I'm a closer, Mike.
You know that obviously the Rhode Island, the RIA meeting is amazing value in what they're teaching you. But just like Rick says, it's the networking afterwards. It's talking to people, learning from people, all sorts of quality people. So yeah, that's it. And I don't know if I've gotten 3, but the third one is this is gonna sound cliche too. Shit, is enjoy the journey. I mean, it's not. I'm just having fun with this. Like meeting you, Walter, has just been fun. It's not, you know, people say, really, you're going to Fall River on a Saturday morning? I said, I enjoy it. We're talking about fun stuff, and it's just, you know, it's kind of like playing with house money. You're just having a good time with it all. And so that's, that's another, yeah.
You're a huge contributor on the Saturdays on those trainings. So having you in the room is just tremendous for everybody. Seeing somebody who's in it with them, but at the same time, you're steps ahead. I think it helps the whole group just saying like, okay, it's possible for me too.
Yeah. And also just the general have a positive outlook on life, like being positive. I'm a big believer in law of attraction. Yep. So if you're always complaining, you're just going to be attracting more issues. And if you're always being positive, you just attract more positive things. That was part of the Miracle Morning too. It was all be grateful for what you have, and just be positive. It's fun. It's much more fun anyways. Really? You want to be a sad sack?
So it's funny because you deliver the book a week. We got Atomic Habits coming up. I'm interviewing another guest down in about a minute. I'm doing all these today, right? I'm banging them all out today.
Yeah, nice job.
But before we jump off, I want to make sure people have a way to contact you. What is the easiest way to get in touch with you, Mike?
You can text me at my phone number. It's 401 486-5105. My last name is spelled Schein. You can look for me on Facebook. I thought I was done with getting friends, and then I met Walter, and now all these people that say that Walter's their friend are friending me. So Facebook, I have a business page for my law office, and I also have my personal page. And I don't necessarily post a lot, but I like to comment on other people's posts, So it's
No,
cool.
you're
Walter's going to get me posting more.
you're super active on Facebook. Like you involved with everybody. Like you go in and
Exactly.
comment and you post. We got to get you to posting a little bit more though. Yeah, I agree.
I gotta get my Instagram back up. I listened to A Bigger Pockets about digital minimalism by Cal Newport, and he said, "Get rid of your Instagram."
No
So,
way.
that's a great book too, Digital Minimalism.
Digital minimalism. I'm scared of it already. I feel like I'm supposed to be exploding and putting more out there.
Don't read that one. Not yet.
All right, brother. Mike,
Right, cool.
thank you. Mike, thank you so much. I will see you Saturday. Guys, when you have a choice, always work with the best. Mike Schein, cheers, my friend. I'll see you soon.
Great to see you.